Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Westferry Times podcast. Today, we're diving into a heart wrenching and complex story that's dominating headlines. I'm Aaliyah.
And I'm Puayo. The ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hezbollah has brought a pause to the violence, but for many, the aftermath is, far from a victory. In Tyre, a city in southern Lebanon, the scars of the conflict are really hard to ignore.
Yeah, absolutely. The discovery of makeshift mass graves has left families grieving and searching for closure. Today, we'll unpack this tragic story, explore the realities on the ground, and what it means for the people caught in the middle of this conflict.
So let's get started.
All right, let's set the scene. Entire residents are coming back to a city devastated by war. And among the destruction, in a scrubland on the outskirts of the city, excavations have unearthed 186 bodies. These are primarily Hezbollah fighters who were buried hastily during the height of the war.
It's grim. Families clad in black, mourning their loved ones, gathered at the site. One of the scenes that stands out is a mother and daughter weeping over the coffin of Hussein Faki, a Hezbollah militant. They were gently wiping away dirt and dust from his coffin.
Yeah, and this isn't your typical burial site. These makeshift graves were a desperate measure taken during, the chaos of war. The bodies were interred quickly to prevent further atrocities, and only now are being exhumed for proper burial.
Right, yellow digaki. Under a clear blue sky, it scraped away the earth to reveal coffins marked with nameplates. The air, even with the stench of decay, families and workers had to wear matched to it up.
One of the funniest moments came with a 15-year-old boy, Mohammed, waiting for the recovery of his father, Milin Ezzedine. Ezzedine was a senior Hezbollah commander and died in an airstrike last November. Mohammed spoke with pride, calling martyrdom one honey.
Yeah, and when his father's body was uncovered, Mohammed's aunt collapsed in anguish. Mohammed himself helped carry the coffin to the ambulance. The weight of loss is just heavy.
It's heavy. And this tragedy is unfolded against a backdrop of a ceasefire brokered between Israel and Hezbollah. The truce has allowed UN troops to move south and take over positions previously held by Hezbollah fighters, but the damage has been done.
Right. Tyre's once bustling streets are now, veritable. Block after block has been leveled by relentless Israeli airstrikes. One shopkeeper, Imad Hijazi, was returned to find his mobile repair shop destroyed and worked here for 15 years. He said, devastating.
There's another layer to this story. Beyond the personal grief, there's a broader question about rebooting trust in community. Tyre, like many conflict zones, faces the daunting task of bringing people together after such division. This isn't just about physical reconstruction. It's about emotional and social healing too. Some of them is making an effort.
That's a great point. The psychological impact on survivors is immense. Families have to cope with loss, displacement, and the uncertainty of the future. Schools, hospitals, and basic infrastructure need to be rebuilt. And many people have this not just a security and...
Yes, let's not forget the role of international organizations. UN troops are moving in a takeover positions held by Hezbollah fighters, but there are still questions about the long-term effectiveness of these peacekeeping efforts. Can they really ensure stability to society in this?
And speaking of international involvement, humanitarian that is crucial right now. Charities and NGOs are stepping in to support food, water, and medical supplies. But the scales of the destruction means that recovery will take years. It's not decades. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
And the economic impact is just as devastating. Many businesses in Tyre have been completely destroyed. Tomorrow's shopkeepers like Imad and Jazi, who mentioned earlier, left with nothing. Rebuilding the local economy is going to be a monumental challenge.
And while the ceasefire is in place, it's always the looming fear of renewed conflict. So the history of the region shows that these periods of peace can be fragile. It's a delicate balance.
For now, though, the focus is on recovery. Families in Tyre are trying to rebuild their lives one step at a time. The memories of this conflict will linger for years to come, shaping the lives of future generations.
All right. Well, that's all for today. If you want to read more about this story or others like it, head over to westferrytimes.com.
And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast for more in-depth stories. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care, everyone. Bye.